guys, it's Peachy. Today we're going to be making some Tamagotchi earrings. I loved Tamagotchis when I was little because I was never allowed to have any pets. So these were like the next best thing. And I think they're super cute, and you can also make them into keychains and give them away to your friends. So I really hope you enjoy this DIY, and let me know down in the comments below if you've ever had one. For this project, you'll need some paper clay. I'm using Model Magic by Crayola. I'm using paper clay because it's very light, so the earrings will be more comfortable to wear. And you will also need some markers, preferably darker colors so they'll stain your clay better. Be sure to cover the clay pieces you're not using with a paper towel so that they don't dry out. After you stain your clay, just knead it a few times with your fingers. Color your clay again if it's still too white. I was aiming for pastel colors for my Tamagotchis. Roll your clay into a ball shape, then flatten it slightly and pinch one end to make an egg shape. You can rotate it between your fingers to smooth out the thickness, and it should be about this thick. We're aiming for an egg shape because the name Tamagotchi comes from the Japanese word tamago, meaning egg, and the English word for watch. So for this tutorial, I'll also be showing you what I did for these purple, pink, and blue Tamagotchis. With the leftover clay, I smooshed all the colors together to make a pretty cotton candy colored one. Kneading it is really fun, it's almost like slime. You'll also want to save some clay to make the buttons. Just roll them into tiny balls and put them aside. And now for the fun part, adding the screens. I went online to look at Tamagotchis and basically just cropped out the screens that I thought were cute. I think I got a good variety though. We got some playing, eating, sleeping, some taking a poo, some sleeping with their poop. I will link this picture I used down below if you want to print out the same screens. I used my HP sprockets to print them out. Shout out to my boyfriend for the sprocket. Thanks, babe! But you can definitely use a regular printer. Use scissors to cut out each screen. And my advice is that you create the hole for the screen after you cut out the picture, not before, because it might not fit properly and you'll have to trim the picture. So what you want to do after you put the picture on top is just press it down with your finger or a stick until you have enough space to pour liquid inside the hole. Then use a sharp tool to create two lines on either side. Then stick your eye pin in to make a hole. The pin is not really secure, so you're going to have to pull it out and put some glue on it and then push it back in. Use some glue to stick on 3 buttons on each Tamagotchi. And now we're going to glaze the screens. I wasn't really sure what to use to glaze the screens, but these are the 4 supplies that I thought of using. Comment down below which one you think will work the best. Then I set them all aside and left them alone for a day. For the UV resin, I had to put my Tamagotchi into my UV nail lamp to cure. But when I took it out, it changed color and turned turquoise. I think this is because I printed my screens on zinc paper, which reacts to heat, so the color change is probably caused by the heat inside the nail lamp. The nail polish screen also turned out well, but it got slightly purple at the edges and I'm not too sure why. The Dimensional Magic one and Mod Podge one looked okay too. So out of the 4 things I used, I think my favorite is Mod Podge Dimensional Magic, but it does dry slower than everything else. You can definitely use any of these to glaze, just use whatever you have on hand. To make them into earrings, you'll need some earring hooks and jump rings. You want to make sure that the holes are aligned the same way. I used pliers to just twist the hooks. Open up a jump ring with your pliers, put the Tamagotchi on one end and the earring hook on the other. Repeat and you'll have a pair of Tamagotchi earrings. To make them into keychains, add your Tamagotchi to the jump ring, then add a chain of jump rings. Then attach the other end of the chain to a keychain ring. You can leave your Tamagotchis as is, but I decided to add some designs. I added some flower sparkles and some triangles. I also drew some hearts with a toothpick and acrylic paint and added white clouds. Thank you guys so much for watching. Follow me on Insta to be my Insta friend, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!